Gracias, estimados, por seguirme hasta aquí en este quinto capítulo del proyecto Pacific Coast Highway. Esta vez nos dirigiremos a Morro Bay, una ciudad playa muy pintoresca con un cerro adentrándose en el mar y da unas vistas espectaculares que ya lo veremos. Como en el capítulo anterior, dejamos la misión La Purísima y nos dirigimos primero a acampar esa noche, pues ya se estaba haciendo tarde.
Hello, for camping?
Yeah, we have a site open.
Okay. Pictures or
Yeah.
how much is that?
It's 35.
Ooh, better. I was expecting 45. That was the other one. Okay, let's. My name is Jerry Gomez. You want the ID? They have a shower?
Yeah.
A shower? Oh, that's good.
The shower takes tokens.
Okay.
Where's the 82? It's like
It'll be a left right here,
like a
and
left?
then your second right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nice.
Morro Bay, al norte, me hospedó muy bien, con vecinos extraordinarios que celebraban un cumpleaños.
Bueno, llegamos a la estación del segundo día de camping en Morro Bay, el número 82, el precio $35. Tiene agua caliente, ducha, baño. ¿Qué más se puede pedir? Aquí ya acabamos todo en la moto. Vamos ahorita a darnos un baño. Shower for registered campers only. ¿Sabes? Shower, estamos registrados. Hagas el baño. Pones las monedas. Aquí ponen las monedas. Aquí conseguimos dónde, ¿ves? 2 tokens, $1. 2 minutos cada token. O sea, con $1 tenemos 4 minutos. Yo creo que necesitamos unos $2 o $3. Un buen shower. Okay. Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, estimados todos, desde donde se encuentren, allá atrás de la otra pantalla. Aquí saliendo del camping, como verán alrededor, ya con la moto preparada. El camping de $35, incluido ducha. Muy barato, muy cómodo. Aquí en Morro Bay, más o menos son unas 120 millas de Los Ángeles, ruta norte. Estamos a punto de partir y nos vamos a otro lugar muy interesante que mis vecinos de campamento me han recomendado. No les diré el nombre, será más adelante. Continúen viendo en el video. ¡Vamos! Hay una magia particular en despertar en un campamento en la costa central de California. El aire huele a selva, costera y a sal, y la mañana se viste con un manto de niebla suave, como si el océano estuviera susurrando sus sueños a la tierra. Hoy el destino es claro. Hoy es un día para caminar hacia la historia, para seguir el llamado silencioso de ese gigante de piedra que vigila la bahía Morro Rock. Vamos a visitar el Morro Bay. Mientras dejo atrás la seguridad de campamento y me adentro en el paisaje, recuerdo las palabras del gran John Steinbeck, quien captó también el alma de este lugar. The air is full of the smell of seaweed and salt and the sounds of wave. El aire efectivamente está cargado con ese olor a algas y sal, y el sonido de las olas es la banda sonora eterna de este lugar. Es el mismo sonido que escucharon los primeros habitantes
los Chumash, para quienes esta roca no era un mero paisaje, sino Lisamú, una tierra sagrada. Y es el mismo sonido que siglos después guió a los exploradores españoles. Imaginen la escena, 1542. La bruma se abre y la carabela de Juan Rodríguez Cabrillo se encuentra de pronto con este coloso solitario. Lo bautizaron el Morro, la cumbre redondeada, un faro natural, inconfundible en la ruta hacia lo desconocido.
Mira, Morro Rock, aquí está. Estamos en la ciudad. Una pequeña bahía, los botes y el Morro Rock ahí. Vamos a ver si logramos ir hasta allá. Pero antes de eso vamos a ponerle un poco de gasolina. Acá estamos en la bahía donde están los botes, los yates de Morro Rock City. Un submarino.
Y así, de la exploración nació la comunidad. Y el corazón de esa comunidad late aquí, en el embarcadero. El crujido de la madera bajo los pies se mezcla con las risas de los niños y el ritmo alegre de los barcos balanceándose en el agua. Es un ballet de vida, un pequeño universo donde lo salvaje y lo humano coexisten en una danza perfecta. Es un punto de encuentro, el encuentro entre la tierra y el mar, entre la historia y el presente, entre la fuerza monumental de la roca y la delicadeza de una anémona en un charco de marea. Hoy mis millas me trajeron aquí. Mis promesas eran con el asombro, con la necesidad de sentir la arena bajo mis botas y la brisa salada en mi rostro. Y aunque ya estamos a mediodía, se nos acerca un punto más a visitar hoy, que nos espera a unas millas al norte de Hearst Castle. Allí nos vemos.
Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, estimados todos. Bienvenidos acá a mi canal. Este es el segundo día camino a The Hearst Castle. Estamos a 2 millas al norte por la Pacific Highway con vista al mar. Mira esa maravilla que hay. Gracias por seguirme en mi canal. Espero que les guste esta pequeña serie de varios mini documentales del proyecto Pacific Highway.
Nos dirigimos al Castillo Encantado por la hermosa carretera PCH con su brisa fresca del mar, refrescándonos. Muy pocos autos compartiendo el camino a estas horas.
¡Vamos!
Lo que representa libertad y paz para todo motorista. Hasta que por fin, después de unos 20 minutos aproximadamente, llegamos a Hearst Castle.
Hearst Castle, llegamos. Vamos a ver qué interesantes cosas encontramos aquí. Aquí le encontramos una sombrita para la puca guaira, claro. Bueno, estamos yendo a The Hearst Castle.
Hello everyone.
Un lugar
My name is
que parece mucho de historia.
California State.
Y acá estamos tomando el bus. Es un tour de 2 horas.
San Simeon State Historical Monument.
Mientras el bus nos lleva al castillo, uno de los más famosos de la costa oeste de Estados Unidos, por su lujo, extravagancia y ser parte de muchas filmaciones de películas clásicas de Hollywood, os pido que pongan subtítulos en español para su mejor entendimiento si son de habla hispana, ya que de aquí para adelante será mayoritariamente en inglés. Información muy interesante y anecdótica dada por nuestro guía. Preparen sus canchitas, maníes, sodas o taquitos y disfruten este maravilloso tour.
Hi.
Nos acercamos al castillo de Hearst y mira, contemplamos unas frutas, limones, naranjas, en todo el camino de la entrada.
Because I think the worst thing I can do is bore you. And so I'm going to have a very good time on this tour, and I'm going to ask you to join with me as we do that, because this is a wonderful place. You're going to see a lot of things. We're going to spend 60 minutes together, 30 minutes outside in the gardens looking at the exterior of the estate, and then 30 minutes in Mr. Hearst's major entertainment rooms. So that's what's in store for you. So I need to ask a very important question. How many of you, this is your first visit, you've never been here before? Oh my gracious, that's almost everybody. Well, I hope you're going to enjoy it as much as I do. Do we have any visitors from outside the country, outside the U.S.? You're from? Mexico. Welcome from Mexico. Anyone else? How many of you are from California? Oh, lots of you from California. All right, anyone outside of California want to yell out your state? Pennsylvania.
Nevada.
Nevada. Another Nevada? All right. Anyone else? So we're mostly California, Nevada, with a little Virginia thrown in for excitement.
Well, I am Peruvian.
Where?
I'm from Peru, but I live in Los Angeles for
Peru?
15 years.
All right, via LA. Well, you
Yes.
probably like what Otani did then yesterday.
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have to go through the rules. Somebody said was it difficult to hear on the ride up? Did you hear Alex Trebek talking with you?
Nope.
No, some did, some didn't. Yes. Well, he went through the rules, and one of the rules is, well, you're here, you're only to touch the handrails. Don't touch anything else. And our second stop is going to be.
Esto viene desde la
Looks like I
tumba
have
de
to take you up to the
Tutankamón,
front of the house. You all ready?
3600 años de antigüedad. Fue comprado por el señor Morgan. Acá vemos una reliquia antigua.
And there's none of the other crazy food and beverages here. So help us with that. We want you inside the house to turn off the flash or the light on your phone.
Okay.
Some of our things are sensitive to light. Take all the pictures you want. Two things I'm going to tell you. Number one is there's 25,000 objects here. You're not going to get everything in this shot. If you're here to get pictures of everything, you're going to be disappointed. The other thing is with that, you have to stay with me. I'm going to ask your cooperation. Is when we move from one site to another, stay with me. So ladies and gentlemen, this is one of 6 estates that was owned by William Randolph Hearst. And he was a newspaper man. This is the only estate he built from scratch. He doesn't start this until 1919. He's 56 years of age. The average life expectancy for a man then is 52. So he gets a bit of a late start. We'll tell more of that story in a minute. Now for you ladies here, there's a very prominent assistant to William Randolph Hearst that helps him to build the hilltop. That's a woman named Julia Morgan. Now if you don't know, Julia Morgan, and just to make sure you know, I confirmed it with ChatGPT before. Julia Morgan completes more projects in the United States than any other architect, between 500 and 800. The next closest is a man you've probably heard of, and that's Frank Lloyd Wright, with 433 to 533, depending on what source you look at. So the most prolific architect, it took 50 years after her death for her to be recognized by the American Association of Architects, and that would be why? She was a woman. They didn't want women in the field. It's gender bias. And it's facts. Think about a woman architect here in 1919, first licensed architect in the state of California. So if you ladies want to talk about somebody who broke the glass ceiling, Julia Morgan is a great example. 1919, Hearst gets title to the property. He talks with Miss Morgan. He said, it's all about the views. You could take either staircase. We're headed to the right. Come on over and look at the views. Farmer in Missouri. He came to California in 1850. Now, why would one come to California in 1850? Gold rush. George is absolutely convinced he's going to make more money mining than he will as a farmer in Missouri. And you know what? He is absolutely correct. He becomes one of the 10 wealthiest men in the country. And it starts in Nevada. Some of you are from Nevada. It's the Comstock Lode, Virginia City. He's a part of that largest silver strike. Then it's copper, the Atacama mine. That's in Montana. But it ends with another mine. You're from Los Angeles?
From Los Angeles.
Okay, how's your English?
Pretty
Okay.
well.
Well, here's the deal. You just sold your interest in the Comstock Lode, so you have a lot of money in your pocket. Some friends come to you and they say, we think there's a lot of gold in the Black Hills of South Dakota, but currently it's Indian country. Now it's 1877, and they say it's going to be $70,000 to buy that potential mine in the Black Hills of South Dakota. What are you going to do?
I would buy that.
He bought the mine. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he just bought the Homestake mine. The Homestake mine produces gold from 1877 till 2002. It produces 50 million troy ounces of gold. Now, today, gold is over 4,000 an ounce. At today's value, it produces more than $200 billion of gold. What do you think about that $70,000 investment?
Well
Placed. That's what George Hearst does.
Estamos viendo ahorita el pool, la piscina de esta mansión. Mira. Wow. Siento como que estoy en Italia, en la Villa Romana.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you come up on the terrace, just a reminder, you do not have to look at me. I believe the views and what you see around you far more beautiful than I am. If you were here in the late 20s and early 30s, if you look down into the pool, you might see a man named Johnny Weissmuller swimming down there. So who knows the name of Johnny Weissmuller?
Tarzan.
Tarzan!
The first one.
We got a young group. If you don't know that he was the Tarzan in the talking films. He was the first American swimmer to win 4 gold medals on one Olympics in 1924. And whenever he was here, Hearst would always challenge him to a race. He would make Johnny go the 104 feet the long way, and Hearst would go the 58 feet the short way. But guess who always won? Johnny Weissmuller always won. 38 bedrooms, 42 bathrooms. Now in 1922, is it unusual to have more bathrooms than bedrooms? You bet your bottom dollar, even a luxury hotel, you don't get a private bath. So Julia Morgan and William Randolph Hearst are way ahead of the curve, understanding what we want in our homes. Now, just like you saw in the Temple of the Sun, Hearst put antiquities in the house. You're looking at a modified convent gate from Spain, 16th century, as your front door. Either side of the door, a 15th century Spanish wild myth. It's their job to keep the spirits evil out of the house. Straight away above the door, it's a French Duke of Burgundy writing. That's actually a copy. The original Duke de Fooling the Wither is down in the vaults. Then above the Duke of Burgundy, you see that Madonna and Child? 13th century. 200 years before Christopher Columbus set sail for the Americas. That's in a church in Spain. Now it's on the front of his house. You've got the Tondo, Spanish, Peter with the keys to the kingdom, Paul with the sword of martyrdom. Now, Julie Morgan's into earthquake prevention. You see what they call rock work. That's concrete. She uses concrete reinforced with steel. And as you look up those spires done by her craftsmen, we might call precast concrete today, look at the cherubs holding up the library deck. I think that shows that the workmen had some fun while they were doing their construction here.
Aquí al lado del castillo, entrando al castillo.
Make sure you're on that little nature mountains.
Wow.
No selfies mixer.
Oh,
Just short one.
sorry.
Yeah. Just get a very 10 bar
Okay.
for somebody else.
So like this, okay?
Yeah.
That's okay.
That should be okay.
Come on in, everybody. We got to get everybody in the house. So what do you think of Mr. Hearst's assembly? You call this the assembly room. You know what the assembly room is for? Assembling the crowd. 2,500 square feet. They say an average home in San Francisco back in that day was about 1,200 square feet. So you could put 2 average San Francisco homes in Mr. Hearst's living room. Now he had an original plan that was smaller than this, but he actually makes this room about 10 feet longer to accommodate his arts. Now, if you don't know, William Randolph Hearst probably has put together the largest, most valuable set of tapestries in the United States of America. From a Peter Paul Rubens painting, that's a 17th century Franco-Flemish piece, The Church Triumphant Over Ignorance and Blindness. That is Neptune creating the horse. Again, it's 17th century Franco-Flemish. But Hearst is going to brag to you about the other 4 tapestries in the room. There's one out. Now, as you look at these 4 tapestries, I want to give you a little perspective. As you look at those threads, you look at the detailed perspective, it's pretty amazing. But think about a silk thread that's running up and down and through that tapestry. And then around it is going to be wound a really thin wire of either silver or gold. There's silver and gold minerals in all of these tapestries. And it said they were purchased at great price by King Louis XIV of France, and they hung in the Palace of France. Now imagine you've got these tapestries for 100 years, and somebody knocks on the door and they said, you know, we'd really like to borrow your tapestries, take them back to Brussels and make copies. What are you going to say? I'm going to say no thank you. But the royal family lent out their original tapestries, they took them back to Brussels, and 17th century reproductions were made. Now to give you an idea what the...
Now we go to the next room, llegando al siguiente cuarto. ¡Ay, ay, ay! Mira, 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 mira. Mira la chimenea que se manejaba en esa época. Hey, can I get some apple?
Great question, thank you. We'll segue. Come on in, we got it. Get everybody in. Now, for our young people coming in this room, you might have a sense of Harry Potter.
Yes.
Hearst called this a refectory. That's a technical name for where you would eat in a university in Europe or in a monastery. And the producers of Harry Potter came in this room and they took photographs before they designed Hogwarts. Now this is pretty authentic, so if you're thinking Hogwarts when you walk into the room, you got the right idea. Mr. Hearst is going to sit here in the middle of the table. Across from him, we didn't talk about this, he has a girlfriend, 30 years younger. Mrs. Hearst has moved to New York in 1926. He's here with his girlfriend, Mary Davies, who makes 46 movies. She's 13th star fan. You'd know her if you're back in the day.
And we go to the next door.
If you look at the outside edges of this room, you see what the craftsmen called extensions. They built pieces and painted them to match that antique ceiling so that it all looked together. What they didn't plan on is about 10 years ago, one of our museum staff saw the black and the white and the red underneath the dirt and the soot of the ceiling, and it's gone through 10 years of restoration. Hearst never saw the ceiling as you're seeing it today. He never saw those colors. And so it's unusual, but the newer parts on the outside, the old's in the middle. So you'd have had to go into the palace of Alfonso V in Aragon, Spain, to see the ceiling as you're looking at it today. And then you see the 15th century Spanish triptych on that wall, again from the Palace of Aragon, Spain. Now before our tour today, because this room is famous for a particular reason, I was on the phone with a good friend of mine, and you might find it hard to believe. But anyone know the star of the movie Formula One? Who? Brad Pitt? I was on the phone with Brad Pitt. He was talking to him down in Burbank, trying to get him into his private plane to bring his movie up so we could watch it in Mr. Hearst Theater. And the idea was that after the movie, we'd put Brad Pitt right here on this couch. So after the movie, you could come and sit down and visit with him. Now, if I could arrange that, what would you think? Would that be pretty cool?
Yeah.
You're all looking at me with such skepticism. But I want you to think it's 1940. You've just seen Gone with the Wind, and Clark Gable is here sitting on this couch. You like that, don't you?
Ahora vamos al siguiente cuarto, el cuarto de los juegos.
If you look up, you see another 15th century Spanish ceiling. Hearst likes the Moorish style. See the Persian tiles on either side. the tapestry and on the spandrels, because that's what the style he likes, as is the ceiling. But this is the billiard room. And again, we talk about Hearst doesn't accept the conventions of the East Coast. Where could women play pool? They couldn't on the East Coast. It was for men only. But Hearst is very different. His mother is the first female regent at UC Berkeley in 1897. And mom teaches her son, I know you're going to find this remarkable. She says women can do anything men can. What do you think of that? On 1897, that sounds pretty remarkable. But Hearst values women. He's got a female architect in 1919, and he wants to be president of the United States. So his path is to be governor of New York. He runs for governor of New York in 1906. His major platform is women should have the right to vote. There's so much opposition to that in 1906. It ends his political career. We got to get that light off, please, because this tapestry is what we're trying to protect. So, ladies and gentlemen, he is the first newspaperman, puts a woman in charge of a major newspaper in Chicago. He is the first magazine editor, puts a woman in charge of a magazine in London. He believes in women, even though you may not think of it. So, in this room, the women could play pool.
Acá vemos un órgano, un piano del siglo, a finales del siglo XVIII. Ahí está, mira. ¡Ey! Teléfono. El teléfono como de la abuela.
En la opulencia de Hearst Castle, entre sus piscinas deslumbrantes y sus jardines infinitos, existe un santuario íntimo dedicado a la magia más moderna de su época al cine. Este teatro no era solo una sala de proyecciones, era un epicentro de las noches de gala en la Cuesta Encantada. Aquí, William Randolph Hearst, el anfitrión, y su amiga, la actriz Marion Douglas, convertían a sus invitados en la audiencia más exclusiva del mundo. Imagine la escena, las luces se atenúan y en la pantalla se proyectan los últimos estrenos de Hollywood. Pero el verdadero espectáculo estaba en las butacas. Por este mismo pasillo caminaron las leyendas Clark Gable, Carol Lombard, compartiendo risas, el genio Charlie Chaplin, deleitando a todos incluso antes de que comenzara la película, y Cary Grant, con su elegancia innata observando desde la penumbra. Eran los dioses del Olimpo del cine, pero aquí eran simplemente invitados en la casa de Hearst. Saliendo del espectacular cine-teatro, nos encontramos con una cancha de tenis única, construida encima de una espectacular piscina que lo veremos en unos instantes.
Ahora vamos lo que está abajo del tenis. Esta es la piscina del interior.
¿A quién no le gustaría meterse un chapuzón en esta piscina fenomenal? Aquí acabamos el tour de más de 60 minutos por todo este fenomenal castillo, abierto al público a un costo de $35 por persona, incluido guía. Gracias, Hearst Castle, por esta maravillosa experiencia.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
It was a pleasure to listen. It was great. Nos retiramos.
Y así, con el corazón lleno de historias y la vista perdida en estas colinas doradas, nos despedimos de la Cuesta Encantada. Este viaje a través del tiempo no sería lo mismo sin la dedicación del equipo de Hearst Castle, que preserva con tanto esmero este pedazo de sueño. Un sincero agradecimiento para ellos. Y a ustedes que me acompañan desde el otro lado de la pantalla, gracias por ser parte de esta aventura. Peruchos en ruta, dame un like y comentar si es de su agrado. Son el combustible para seguir explorando más lugares. Si aún no lo son, los invito a suscribirse al canal para no perderse el próximo capítulo. Miren por la ventana, esa línea azul en el horizonte es el Pacífico, esperándonos con nuevas rutas. Hasta la próxima, aventureros. Nos vemos.
Bueno, hemos acabado el tour to the Hearst Castles, ahí al frente. Esto espero que les haya gustado. A mí me gustó mucho. Muchas cosas desde hace siglos de antigüedad. Incluso hay unas estatuas que fueron traídas cuando encontraron al faraón Tutankamón. Unas 2 o 3 estatuas que costaron varios millones de dólares comprarlas. Es increíble. Y ahorita nos vamos, seguimos norte por Pacific Highway. Y hay un punto donde dice Elephant Seals. Vamos a ver si encontramos esos animales. Vamos.